Welcome back to my channel. This is where I post weekly about any content to do with SMMA, agency owners, business owners, anything you can think of. I give my point of view and hopefully I can help you guys with the content that I share in your journey with your agency and how you can progress and build a massive multi-million pound agency. So today I'm going to talk about how you can get your first SMMA client in just 7 days. And there's a few things I'll tell you to avoid and maybe rethink what you're doing, and some key tips for myself on how we managed to get our first client. So let's think about why people aren't listening to you right now. And there could be plenty of reasons. People have always been told to say no from a young age. So imagine you're doing a cold call and the person's first instinct is to say no. They know that you're selling to them. So you need to break that barrier. You need to get their trust, because imagine you're calling them for the first time. How can you trust them? Imagine you're getting a cold call. You don't want to be on that phone call. So you need to try and rethink your strategy to be from their point of view. What's going to make me stay on that call with that person and I'm not going to get annoyed, and I'm not just going to be thinking, when can I put the phone down? Are you doing these 3 things when you're outreaching? Are you highlighting a problem, highlighting a pain point? Do they actually realize that there's something wrong with their business? Sometimes you need to tell them and then they think about it and then understand, okay, I will need your service. So highlight a pain point, then provide them with value, something of a free resource, for example. This will gain more trust, and it's not you selling something. You're giving that thing for free. They can use it and maybe not use your service, and that's completely fine. But you're gaining their trust. So you've highlighted a pain point, then you're providing them free value. And the third thing is providing the solution. So you said what's wrong with their business. Then you give them a free ebook, which might help them. And then you go even deeper and say, I can provide you the solution to your problem. I do this and that with my agency, so I can help you fix all of these problems and let your business grow to what you want it to be. Before you even start outreach, there's one thing I would say. Do you know what you're selling yourself? Do you know what kind of service you're selling? So for example, are you selling YouTube adverts to gym owners or Facebook ads to dentists? Do you know what you're selling yourself? Because if you go in with an open mind and no clear structure of your outreach, why would anyone buy from you? Always think of it from the client's point of view. What I'm saying to them right now, would I buy from what I'm saying? Most likely not, if you're watching this video, if I'm being honest. You need to have clear structure, and I mentioned how you can decide on a niche and what service you actually sell in my previous video on how I talk about how you can decide on your perfect niche, because everyone's completely different and there's certain reasons why you might go with one niche and another person might go with another. So look at my previous video and I talk about how you can find your perfect niche that suits you the best and how it will help you grow your agency. So then once you know what you're selling, do you have your systems in place? So for example, if you want to reference your website, is your website all sorted? Is your landing page ready for when you want clients to opt into something? Are your contracts ready? So if everything's all prepared and all you have to do is outreach, that's a great success, because if you're having to do outreach and then backtrack on all these steps, that's taking time away from you doing outreach in the future, and you're always going to be one step behind instead of one step ahead. You always want to be prepared. You never want to be chasing and kind of following up on nothing. You're just always just chasing and not getting anywhere. You want to be prepared, have everything structured, and I keep saying this, structure. If you have everything in place, all that's left to do is sell your agency, and that's it. You don't have to faff about with these contracts and templates that you shouldn't be doing. Someone else should be doing that. A virtual assistant, for example. So those are the key points I would say you'd have to prepare yourself for before you start outreach. Because other than that, you're going to be struggling to grow your agency if all the time you're creating something new and creating a new system, because if you're going to have to do that each time, it's just going to take a long process and you're not going to get anywhere, and eventually you're going to see, what's the point in this if I'm going to have to put so much effort into just signing one client? I'm just going to try something else. Okay, so now the reason why you clicked on this video. The first thing I would say is your network. We found our first client in the space of 1 week of starting our agency, because I told someone that we do website design and development, and they said, my friend needs one, and we got into contact on the next day, met with him at the pub, had a drink, and signed our first client. It was as simple as that. We didn't expect it. We wanted to create our systems. We wanted to prepare our contracts and our templates and briefs and everything you can think of, but we've had to backtrack, and that's why I'm saying right now, you need to prepare for that so you avoid all the mistakes that we made. It wasn't a mistake because we managed to get a client, but we've had to work double because we had to create one thing for one person and now we're gonna have to suit it for everyone. So now we're kind of backtracking, but now we're moving forward because we've got those systems in place right now. Any event you go to as well, just mention it. Just say, oh, I have an agency, I do YouTube adverts for this and that in this niche. Oh, okay, these people might not need your service, but they can spread the word. That's what you want. You don't want your first person to just be like, oh, I need one. You tell everyone, and then a few months down the line, you'll be like, oh, okay, I remember this person and that thing. Let me message them and see if they're still doing it. Then of course you're still doing it because you're trying to push through, you're trying to grow your agency, and that's how it works. Just step by step, spreading the word. And with that, I would say contacting business owners that you know. So for example, I play golf quite a lot, and every time I play golf, I meet some business owners, and it's a great way for me to connect with those people, tell them my service, and sometimes you do get lucky. I say to one person I'm doing website design, they're like, oh, I was thinking about doing it. And then that's when you can put sales mode on because they already know the problem. They already know that they need a website. So I'm there to close it and say, okay, so why haven't you been doing it? And what stopped you from doing it? Listen to all their problems. And then you're the guy, just out of thin air, to provide a solution. Now going on to a broader scale, Google Maps is a great place to find your first client. Look in your local area. Let's say you want to search for restaurants in London. You look for all the restaurants in London, you can save them on Google, and then you have your lead list. You're able to reach out to these people with the systems that we've already mentioned before. The amount of leads you're going to get is going to be ridiculous. You're going to get heaps and heaps, and you're going to spend more time going through the lead list and finding your perfect company instead of actually outreaching because of how many leads you will get. Of course, you can use filters to narrow down the searches, which is highly recommended, and then you can save those searches and then export them. And then you have your lead list, and all you have to do is find the phone number, call them up, and say your sales script. And that's where you sharpen your skills as well for sales, but that's a completely another story. This is where you just find your first client, and then you can grow from there and move from there. Similar to Google Maps and local businesses, Facebook groups is also a great place. So let's say I want to find builders in London again, or builders in Manchester. You can type that into Facebook, and there'll be plenty of groups of people sharing their experiences and work that they do. And with some Facebook groups as well, they love promoting businesses on there. So what I would say is have a post ready, integrate yourself into the group chat a little bit so you can see what people are posting, engage with them, and then you can make a post. If anyone comments straight away, that's a DM to them saying, oh, are you looking for a website for your construction company? Okay, here I am. So simple things like that, seeing all the local businesses out there, because there's more than you think. It's not just about 5 bakeries, let's say, for example. There's hundreds of companies out there, and they're just waiting for that phone call from you, for your services, so you can help them, and then you can help yourself as well. The last thing I would say is when you have, let's say, a lead list or a list of companies that you want to find, there's great softwares out there to help you find these. So for example, I know there's this website called D7 Lead Finder. You're able to type in the industry and the location. Again, this is all the local businesses. You can look through their list, find their website, find their contact information, and then outreach them. Make your own lead list. There is also Hunter.io, a Chrome extension, where if you go on a website, it will source out the main emails used for that website. Granted, it's not 100% all the time, as in there might just be an info@blah.com. But there are some cases where you can find the owner and then you've got their personal email. There's no need for that cold DM. You can personalize the email and make your outreach more authentic. That will definitely put you a step closer than just saying hello sir, or instead you can put hello James. Straight away there's that better connection. And obviously you have to nurture them and get them to be a qualified lead. But again, to find that client, it becomes much easier with these softwares. And then you can scale and grow and be where you ever want to be. Thank you for tuning into the video and watching all the way through to the end of this part. I hope it helped. It's definitely helped me because I've been able to reflect on how we started, and it's jogged my memory. We've been able to start fast and then take a few steps back, see what we need to do, and now we've been able to implement what we originally wanted to implement. So now we're moving in the right direction, and I'm just sharing my journey so others don't make the same mistake and not have to backtrack. You learn from other people's mistakes. You can see what we did. I'm telling you how it would work best just from my point of view. So I hope this content did help you and help you on your journey to be a big agency owner. As always, like and subscribe. I really appreciate anyone who does engage with these kind of videos. It gives me a lot of enthusiasm to make more. So please comment anything that you'd like me to do as well. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week.